on touch down, let's cover that. So what we want in our window is whenever we click somewhere, that is, we will first see whether the screen is being touched by our mouse or by our fingers or not. By touching, I mean it's being clicked or being pressed by our fingers. So whenever it's being pressed, we want to draw an ellipse or a circle around that touch. So first we need to make sure that the touch can be detected by Kivy. And how do we do that? We go inside our paint window because we want our touch to be detected inside our window. That's why we are going to write a method inside this, and we are going to call it on touch down. So if you don't remember, there are three kinds of touch methods, that is the on touch down method, on touch up method, and the on touch move method. So on touch down is activated whenever we click on a surface or a window, and whenever we drag our mouse by clicking over here and kind of like swiping right on Tinder, when we drag our mouse from one point to another, then the on touch move function is called. And when we release our mouse after dragging it, then the on touch up function is called. So for example, if we click over here, then on touch down function is called, and when we release our mouse or our click, then the on touch up function is called. So right now we just need the on touch down function, that is whenever we click it, then an ellipse should be made. So we just need an on touch down function. So over here we are going to create an on touch down function. So whenever we press on our mouse or touch a screen, this function will be called automatically by Kivy. We don't need to do anything. So over here we're just going to write, actually let me just print out this touch variable because it contains all kind of information inside it, and I want you guys to see what kind of information is inside it. So I'm just going to print it over here, and then we are going to reload it, and white screen should come up. Actually maybe I should have let it to be like peach because it looked pretty good, but anyways, for our purposes white is fine. So if we click somewhere on the screen, you can see there is a print statement happening over here. So this position gives us the x and y coordinate of where the touch happened. So the x coordinate right now is 351 and the y coordinate is 322. And don't worry about this, this is basically the x and y coordinate in one system. So this is a little bit of a different system, but don't worry about it. This is the position that we want. So what we want is we want to draw an ellipse at this position. So what we are going to do is we are going to go to our steps, and we are going to skip this third step for now. First we are going to focus on drawing a circle or ellipse. So first we need to add this to our canvas. So instead of this printing touch, what we are going to do is we are just going to write self, that is inside this paint window we want a canvas to be drawn, and then inside this canvas we want to add something, that is an ellipse. And how do you add an ellipse? You need to first import a graphic known as ellipse. So we are just going to write from Kivy.graphics, and we are going to import our ellipse. So we are just going to write ellipse over here, and then inside to add an ellipse you just write ellipse, and then you just add a bracket. And this requires two things: first, where do you want this to be drawn, and then brackets, and secondly, the size of this thing. So what we are going to do is we are just going to create a variable of diameter, and we are going to just give it a diameter of 30. If you want the circle to be bigger, you can increase this value. And over here we are going to put another brackets, and then inside this we are just going to give it the x size and the y size. So I'm just going to put it at D&D, Dungeons and Dragons. So the x, the width and the height of the ellipse are going to be 30, both of them. And then we want the position. So let me just format this properly first so that it's more easier for you guys to see. And then we want to draw an ellipse wherever we touch our mouse or wherever we touch the screen with our finger. So I'm just going to write over here touch.x, and then we're going to write touch.y. So this is basically the x coordinate and the y coordinate of where we want our screen to be drawn or an ellipse to be drawn. But right now this ellipse is going to be white in color because we haven't used this color property till now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change our screen to black again, and the red, green and blue will be 0, and that will give us the black color. So let me just run this main.py file again, and you can see the screen is black, and when we click on our screen somewhere it gives us this white circle over here. But you can see that the circle is not accurate because we are touching over here with my mouse and the circle is being drawn a little bit far away from the mouse. So for example, the distance between the center and where we clicked our mouse is equal to almost about d or diameter. So we need to fix that. So to do that, what we are going to do is we are going to go to this touch.x, and we are going to subtract d by 2. So we are basically saying subtract from x d by 2, that is half of diameter. In our case it's going to be 15, and we're going to do the same thing of y. So I'm just going to paste this over here, make sure everything is formatted properly, reload it again, and now this time the touch, wherever we touch, the circle is drawn. So this is looking pretty good. Now let's add some colors to this circle, and to do that we first need to import the color property from our graphics. So I'm just going to add a color over here, put a comma so that we import both of them. And then over here we also need to add this color to our canvas. So I'm going to do the same thing that we did with the ellipse. I'm just going to copy and paste this over here, and then inside this I'm just going to write color just like we did with ellipse. And then it's going to be taking a RGBA system or RGB system. So by default it takes the RGBA system that we learned over here, but I just wanted to take RGB. I don't want it to focus on opacity, so I'm just going to write RGB over here and equal to, and then put another bracket over here, and then we are going to give it the values that we want. So for example, if we want let's say the circle to be drawn in red color, so we are just going to put 1, 0, 0, and that is pretty much it. Let's reload it. So now whenever any object is added to our drawing screen, is automatically going to give this color of red to our canvas. So whenever we draw an ellipse on our canvas, it's automatically going to get this color of red. So let's reload it and see if it works. So now whenever we click, the color is red. Let's change the background again to white. Let's put in 1, 1, 1 so that it looks nice. And we can also change this color just like we did with our RGBA system over here. We can do the same thing over here. We can change the colors to anything that we want by dividing it by 255.0. Alright guys, so this is pretty much it for this video. We covered all of these 4 steps. Hope you like this video. So in the next video we are going to learn how to draw a line on our screen, and kind of like a brush, how to like kind of make shapes with our mouse and stuff like that. So we are going to be learning that in the next video. I'm really excited about that. Hopefully you are too. So I'll see you in the next one.